We've all become.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Good to see you guys.
All right, likewise.
Bob and Melody.
All right, nice.
It's so good.
Great.
Why don't we start with letting people know who you are? So,
Okay.
Pastor Bob, let's start with you.
Okay, yeah. I'm Bob Rulewicz, and my wife and I, Sandra, we are here in Wolcott, Connecticut, the center metropolis of New England, southern New England, small town of Wolcott, pastoring Wolcott Christian Life Center. Been here
For how
for
long?
a while.
How long have you been there?
10 years.
Really? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
10 years. Yeah, 10 years.
Joe always said that Herkimer is the center of New York State. So that was just funny to me. The geographical center.
Yes.
And Mel, what do you do at the church?
Yes, I'm one of the worship leaders and also recently started working with our youth. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, which has been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah. So, and I've been at the church for 8 years.
Good. Well, I want to welcome you to our Pastors in Pandemic series that we started during this, and we're changing things up a little bit. So I wanted to get both of you in for a few minutes, and thanks for your time.
Thank you for having us.
So a lot has changed in the last 8 weeks in our world. I mean, in the church, everything's changed. So Pastor Bob, what would you say has been what's been the biggest struggle in coming together through this pandemic?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I kind of relate it to something that Pastor Paul said in 2 Corinthians chapter 11, where he lists, a bunch of hardships. And then at the end of those hardships that he says, besides everything else, I face daily the pressure of my concern for all the churches. And I feel the weight of all that. I feel the weight of his statement in caring for God's people more than ever right now. I worry about people.
Sure.
Not just that our people stay safe, but a lot of our people are out of work, and some of our people going to work are in harm's way, so to speak. I worry about parents and such as Mel, who has to now be not only mom but teachers for their kids, and I worry about them. I worry about our older folks, and I worry about all of our people staying healthy spiritually. That my mantra is, and I repeat it more so now than ever, is do devotions daily. And so I do. I would say that's one of my biggest struggles. I guess it's an occupational hazard for those of us who are pastors, but I do. I worry. I'm weighted with anxiety for our people.
Sure. Mel, that's good, Pastor Bob. The concern, not everybody understands the pastoral concern.
Yeah.
So that's really good to bring that out. That's good. Mel, as a worship leader and as a youth, now taking over the youth, everything's different.
Yeah.
Were you online? Were you live streaming before?
No, that's been new. And actually, one of the positive things with the pandemic is that it's helped us to come up to date with a lot of that. And we're still working on the quality of getting better with that. And that's the way of the world now, is through online and social media. So we need to be present on social media more than ever, especially now. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, we have, we've always had a website and a Facebook page, and we would upload our sermons each week to the website. But now, another one of the struggles is that we've had to switch to a complete social media platform. Facebook, Zoom meetings, doing Bible study on Zoom, and staying in touch with people via text and other ways. So coming up to speed with that has been, and it's been good as well, positively.
The thing that I guess I want to know, and I'll start with Mel first. What's through all this, what's the greatest hope that you have? What have you learned that you say, my hope is?
Sure. My hope is that people's faith is strengthened and that their relationship with the Lord is stronger than it's ever been. Because really, Jesus is all they have. Everything is so unknown right now. And the only certainty we have is in Christ. And so that's my prayer, is that, yeah, people's faith is strengthened. And also, this is easier said than done, but they learn to endure.
Yeah.
Because being a Christian, as we know, takes endurance. And that is a lot easier said than it is walked out. And so, yeah, my prayer is for people's faith to be strengthened, and that they learn to build up their endurance through times like this.
Yeah, that's good. Endurance, that's really good. We're not good at that.
No.
We're not. Nobody is.
Keep it simple for me,
Yes.
Pastor Bob. And I have the same question for you.
Okay.
What is your greatest hope out of all this?
Yeah, well, I would say two things. On the practical side, that we have a better social media presence afterwards. One of the surprising things to me has been, as obsessed as we are with social media, it will never replace coming together, especially our in church together. But at the same time, I've always been a guy, want to be on the forefront with technology and so on. And so this is really pushing us to have a more robust, if you will, social media presence. The other, of course, is, and I know we use this word a lot and in wrong ways, but that this would be we'd come out of this and a revival would be sparked. And, I look at it, for our people, the people that we pastor, kind of piggybacking on what Mel said, is for our people to have a sustained excitement, about, for church and for kingdom values. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to participate in this series. I'm so excited that you said yes. And we're looking forward to putting it out on our social media, doing fellowships, and it'll get out there. I think it helps other pastors if we share and talk about what we're doing. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. And it's good to see you.
You're welcome. I see you.
It's always good to see you.
Blessings.
You're a Herkimer boy.
Come on, I am.
And Mel, you're just special and precious and wonderful. So thank you.
We appreciate you likewise. You're most welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, Pastor Danny. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to talk to you today.
Good to talk to you. And welcome to our Pastors in Pandemic series.
Thanks for having me.
We're excited that you were able to join us.
Yeah, worked out today.
Yeah, it's great. Tell us, where are you? Where's your church?
I'm in Bushwick, Brooklyn. Our church is also in Bushwick, Brooklyn. I pastor Lifehouse Community Church. So we're based out of Bushwick, Brooklyn, a neighborhood that has greatly changed over the last, I would say, 20, maybe even 10 to 5 years. Yeah, it's been rapidly changing in this community. But yeah, I've been here my whole life though.
Oh, you're from Brooklyn?
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Bushwick. I'm from the neighborhood.
Awesome. How is isn't Brooklyn being super affected by the virus?
In as much as the entirety of New York City has really been impacted, we've been under, just under lockdown, and there's been a lot of just intense kind of, social distancing measures and just precautions, we live, actually, I'm in my bedroom right now, and from my room, if I look over, I can see the local hospital.
Really?
Yeah, and so we have, not only are we close to the hospital in proximity, but a number of our members of our church actually work at the hospital and have been, keeping us abreast of what's going on there and kind of the severity of the situation, and have been just keeping us in the loop for the entire time. And so we have a unique insight into what's happening and really the severity of it. I think that's a big thing. It's not made up. It's not a government conspiracy. Stuff.
Not a hoax.
We've got, so from my window, we've got trailers just a block and a half away from us that are housing bodies. And that's the reality. And if we walk in that direction, we walk by that. and see it. So it's real. It's very real to us here in
Right,
Brooklyn.
right.
Yeah.
It's interesting talking to our New York City friends as opposed to our upstate or other, rural communities, because we're just not feeling that impact. I mean, we feel it, we see it, and we feel for you, but we're not seeing the same thing that you are. So that's why I wanted to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was wondering what, you're obviously everybody's doing church different. Were you live streaming before this?
Yeah, actually, we had started. We didn't announce it. We didn't do it, but we had like a soft live streaming launch at the beginning of the year in January. We're like, this is something that we as a church wanted to do. We wanted to make sure that some of our membership, people who couldn't get out, or for whatever situation, we wanted to have a video of it, or be able to get it out there. And so we started kind of a soft launch of our live stream in January. And so we worked out some kinks, and then obviously when everything kicked off, we kicked it up a notch and went full on, and then had to go from live streaming at the church to figuring out how to live stream from our house. And we've been live streaming now from our kitchen. We have my kids are a production team on
Saturday I see it.
Morning. Yeah.
I love it. It's so awesome. I love the way that you guys all adapted. That's so awesome. It's like innovation at its best. What do you wish what do you know now that you wish you had known 8 weeks ago before this all happened? Is there anything that you can think of?
I think that my the biggest thing that I think I've learned over those last few weeks is just, the building isn't as important as you think it is. The church building isn't as important as you think it is. And so often as pastors, we can get caught up in our space and get caught up in what we wish we had, and get caught up in, when we have this building and when we have that space, and and especially in New York City, where space is a premium, the costs are astronomical, and you're looking to grow or expand your ministry, and expand your reach because you want to get the gospel to as many people as possible. What I've realized over the last few weeks is that that's not dependent on the space, and it's not dependent on the building that I have. And so, it's been really cool to see church, and to see, to do church, to be church, because it's not about doing church, but it's about being church. And seeing how in this time we've expanded our reach to beyond not only our neighborhood, but beyond our city, our state. And we're reaching out to people who are in other states, and people are now able to point their brothers and sisters and family members. We have people, in Florida who watch us, people, in North Carolina and South Carolina. They send us, Pastor, I'm watching. And it's so cool to hear people, are engaging, and they're jumping on. And just like you said, they watch they watch it. They're watching church from my kitchen, and they're like, man, we love it. And then just seeing how it's connecting with people in a different way. It just reminds me again that maybe we need to think differently about our spaces, and about how much resources and how much we spend on spaces, and get back to being in each other's homes. And the great thing about kind of this digital communication, and Facebook Live and Instagram is I'm in people's living rooms. I'm in people's, bedrooms and wherever they watch, their service, their kitchens there. I'm in their houses with them, and I'm with their families, and they're with my family. And we're seeing just great things come out of that.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's amazing. As we're going to wind down, I have to mention that we're doing this on May 4th. And you are in full gear, Star Wars. May the 4th be with you, right?
Thank you. May the 4th be with you too.
Okay. So thank you, Danny. It was so great to talk to you. And I really like the perspective of being so close to the hospital and having hospital workers, because we appreciate it, believe me, but it's to hear it firsthand is really good. So thank you. And give my love to your beautiful wife and daughters, and that beautiful son of yours. He's gorgeous.
Thank you. Will do.
Thank you, Danny.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.